Hello, my name is Jody Ann Johnson. I'm the CEO of Miami's Action Coach business and executive coaching firm, and your host for Business Spotlight South Florida, where we interview business owners that make South Florida great. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Beckie Campbell of B4Media production. Beckie, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me to come on your show. It's super awesome. Yeah, our business is an audio-visual production company. And what that means is we rent out equipment and put on events like corporate events or festivals, things like that. During the pandemic, we got into podcasting and Wi-Fi and Zoom calls and all of those types of meetings also. So we're growing.
Wow, Beckie, because a question for you was, given your business model, what were the opportunities and challenges during the pandemic? And you just kind of spoke to that. So we'll come back to it.
Cool.
You have a great phrase on your website, Beckie, and it's very much like a mission statement. Be bold, be brave, be creative, be excellent. These are the actions that drive us to place you, our customer, before anything else. Very clever. We have B and the number 4.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
tell us what drove you to start your business, and where did you come up with the design of this statement, this kind of mission statement?
Well, I've been in production for 27 years now, I think. So that just working with other companies that do exactly what we do now, it kind of drove me to start B4Media. And I had a lot of people that would come to me and ask, do you guys do this? Do you rent production? Do you also run sound? Do you also, excuse me, sorry, I've got a little frog today. And that type of thing, and wanting to make sure that client was well taken care of and everything was done with excellence. And I'm a little bit of a control freak. So,
business owner, right?
Yeah, most business people are, right? That it just kind of always stuck in, the side of my mind, just like, maybe I should do this. And then one year I was, assessing what I wanted to do the next year and where I wanted to go, continue touring, or if I wanted to start a company or work for another person, kind of deal. And I thought, why not? Why not start it? Like, the least, the worst that could happen is I end up in the situation I'm in right now, which is working for someone else.
Right.
And the best that could happen is it's successful and we do amazing things for clients. And that's what we've been able to do. So
when did you start your business, Beckie?
In 2008. Wait,
okay,
sorry,
so been
2018. I added 10 years. It feels like it someday.
Sure. You sound like me when I started my business. I'm like, how hard can it be?
Yeah.
On one level, I was like, like you, I'm willing to go take this risk, because being an entrepreneur is pretty risky.
Yes, ma'am.
And another part of me was like, I had no idea what I was talking about all at the same time, right?
Yeah, there's still days I don't, but someone knows. So that's my mission, is to find those people and network with them and become better at business and hopefully not end up belly up.
How many people are on your team?
We have 10 regular people that we work with, and then we use a bunch of pools of freelancers because we work all over the country. And
oh, you do?
And things like that.
I didn't realize it was all over the country.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's huge. I had client Unearthed Vintage that did local, but they were not countrywide. Yeah. Yep. It's a different dimension, a different dynamic, right?
It definitely is, but we've been really privileged to be able to work with some great crews all over the place, and just people that I've run into over the years, of touring and doing things like that. I've stayed in contact with them. So we have some really great people nationwide.
Wonderful. So who's an ideal client for your company?
Oh man, that's all over the board, really. It just depends
on
what
an example
want to do. We do a lot of corporate event work, so galas and things like that, award shows, corporate meetings, and things for your corporation. So if you come in and you rent a hotel room and do a ballroom and that kind of stuff, and
you would do everything else.
We would do all the production for those things. So those are our ideal clients, breakout rooms, sessions, all those things that come with those weekends, that you do with your shows or with your clientele and your employees. Like, we help you from, conception of that to the execution of it. And then as far as corporate event type stuff goes, we also have a team that we work with that does the more in-depth, like the food and, the name tags and that kind of stuff, since we do production. So I do have other people that do the rest of those things as well.
So you coordinate them.
Yes, ma'am. So that's probably our ideal client. Because I do live sound on the side, I prefer festivals and outdoors and those types of, fun, let's get 100 bands and let's go kind of thing. It's just that's a little bit more up my alley. But yeah, I've also dipped my toe into the corporate world of production as well, which I love as much. So it's interesting. It's our clients are all over the board, but those are our main two things that we do.
Well, you spoke to this early in this conversation about, like, in the pandemic that you went into podcast and webinars and things like that. So say a little bit about that. Are you still doing that?
Not too much. Actually, hooking up my laptop to do this, I had to make sure my Zoom was up to date because it's been a minute, but yeah, during the pandemic, I was probably doing a Zoom call or 3 or 4 a day. Just trying to do some trainings online, actually training people to do Zoom, even on Zoom, which is kind of fun, right? And I had to learn a lot more than I thought that I needed to know to be able to get multiple people on the screen and, different things, and then recording all of that. And then doing like hybrid meetings as well. When we started opening up, I'm actually still doing hybrid meetings, which is great. So more of your clientels can, see what's going on, and maybe they're not comfortable traveling yet still, or, we've all been slammed this year with things opening back up. So a lot of it is these people can't make a meeting in Florida, so they're jumping in online to do their trainings or whatever. So we provide all of that still, and it's growing, which is great. It's become another way that people can get information. So it's become part
another
of
division. Yeah. Yep. What would you say is the biggest business challenge today for you, and what's ahead for your business in the next 2 or 3 years?
Those are always fun to think about, and try to plan and get more goals and new goals. And as it changes, production changes a lot too, as things grow, because technology changes every day. So as far as looking ahead, it's keeping an open mind is a really big thing. Like these hybrid events, I 10 years ago, asked me if I'd do a hybrid event, I would have said absolutely not, and now I'm like, yeah, absolutely, and then the purchasing of new equipment and everything to stay on point and to stay relevant and top notch, you've got to make sure your equipment is top notch, and that type of stuff. So those are goals that we're always looking at, is to make sure our inventory is where you need it to be as a client, and to make sure that you can get all the most excellent things you can get out of a production. So that's a big goal of ours, is to make sure we stay on top of technology. I'm sorry, the first part of your question you asked me.
What's the biggest business challenge today? And then, what's ahead for you? And I'm married to a geek, so I know you have to update your stuff about every 2 years, right? Something like that.
Maybe a little less sometimes.
Maybe a little less now.
Yep. It just all depends, I mean, I could get into geek speak here a little bit, but just like you do at home, if you've got a TV and, a couple of years ago, it used to be a square box. Now it's a long one, and it's 16:9, or it's 4K or 8K, or, all this stuff changes all the time. And it's our goal to stay on top of that for you, so the client doesn't have to worry about all those things.
Do you have inventory that you have, and then update that inventory?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as a business coach, my next question is, what do you do with your expired inventory, if you will?
Yeah, so there's a lot of places online that you can sell the used equipment. There's also a couple of people that work with me that are up and coming, and they can use that for local stuff and little things,
Yeah.
So I'll sell it off to some of my employees too if they want it, or whoever. And some of it it's just upgradable, so
Right.
we keep the computer for 4 years, and
Right.
upgrade.
Yeah.
So yep.
Very good. All right, I have another question. What's inspiring you most about your business today?
Growth, actually, which is great. We're in a season in Florida where it's really busy, which everybody knows. And I'm getting phone calls every day. I'm at the point right now where we're turning away some, which I hate to do and I don't want to do, but I know that if we can't do it in an excellent manner, I won't.
Yeah, because that's part of your
Yes,
statement, and that's really a core piece. I'm gonna ask you, like, say a little bit more about this, but Simon Sinek says that people don't care what you do or how you do it. They care why you do it. So why do you do what you do?
Because I love it. I
see it
do.
in your
I
face.
love everything about it. I love the intensity of it. I love trying to pull something off that most people can't. I loved the look on my clients' faces, when we do what we do excellently, and just to make their lives easier is such a goal of mine too. So it's yeah, we can do that. We've got that covered. You do what you're great at and I'll do what I'm great at, and we'll make this an awesome event.
It's really great. And so what's been the most significant learning that you've had since you started your business?
I feel like I learn every day, getting all the LLC stuff up and running and then moving into an S corp and, CPAs and bookkeepers. I've learned all of that in the process of starting this. I'm not by natural trade a business person. I didn't go to business school. So it's a lot of learning for me and I love it. I've realized the more I don't know, the more I want to know. So that's kind of cool. And during the pandemic, being able to take some business courses online and, some coaching courses too have really helped. So I think one of the things I've probably learned the most is just staying connected with clients and networking and being personable is probably one of the things I never thought was a business deal. You know what I mean? It's like you do business, it's like cookie cutter, it's better do this, do that, but it's not. It's networking and it's being able to trust your client and your client trusting you. And I don't think that works unless you're personable with each other,
Yeah, easy to work with, right? Yeah, good. So as we wrap up the interview, is there anything else that you want to share? Anything else you want us to know?
I'm not sure. If you don't know if I can run your event or something that we can provide for you, give me a call. Let's talk about it. I think that's something I always want everybody to know is I'm not the end all, to a production. There's 1,000 of us out here and somebody might be better suited for your production than we are. And I'm willing to say, hey, here's 20 other people that do this better than I do. If we're not the right person, and let's share and grow together and learn how to do it better, with each other.
Well, this is absolutely that sense of being an honest business owner that's going to serve you really well. I know from my own self, sometimes I'll say, I'm not the right coach for you. I'm not the right executive coach for you. Here's some other resources, because it's all about, as you said, taking care of the customer and putting them first.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want to know more about Beckie's business, you would go to the letter B, 4 mediaproduction.com. And then you can see the kinds of events and work that Beckie does. Beckie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and the difference you make both for your clients and for our community. And with that, we'll wrap up. Thank you so much. Yeah, Business Spotlight, interviewing the business owners that make South Florida and Miami great.
Appreciate your time, Jody.